folks, welcome back to the Dice Tower. I'm Sam.
I'm JT.
And this is going to be our bottom 5 games from 2020, the year of years in recent history. But this isn't negative. This is going to be the bottom half of our top 10 games from 2020. This is just numbers 10 through 6. Later on, after you watch this, you can come over to our channel, the Flipside, and you can see our top 5 games of 2020.
Yep.
But without that, with that having been said, this was a lackluster year when compared to the last few.
Yeah, 100% lackluster. I have some really great games on my list that I love, but the number of games overall, really, the number of outstanding games.
Yes.
I mean, there's literally a handful, maybe 5 or 6, that's not on my list that I've heard about. A lot of people talk about, but other than that, it's a quiet.
I struggled with getting. I did not get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I only got 17 titles that would even come close to hitting my top 10.
I think I was right in that same range.
And usually I stop myself at 20.
Yeah.
So, but I struggled to get 17.
I think I was probably right in that same range.
The NAs, also lackluster, stopped at page 13. Last year it was page 16. So that's a whole 300 games difference.
Yeah, that shipping crisis might actually be showing a little bit.
That's what I think. We were just talking about that. We wondered how many games came out in 2021 and 2022 or 2023 that were supposed to come out or would have normally come out earlier. What about your
It's pretty crazy.
factoids?
We were down to 57 in the top 1,000.
Ouch!
The last time we saw 57 was in 2014.
Dang.
So
it's been tracking upwards ever since 2014.
Solid.
And then it just went.
Last week was 89 or something.
Yeah.
And now it just plummeted to 57.
Wow.
So that's kind of crazy. It really plummeted. So.
I think 2024 is going to make up for 2020.
I don't think so. I honestly think, you think of all the 2024 games right now, and I honestly don't even know of that many that have hit top 1,000.
I would dare say it's going to be better than 2020.
Want to bet? What are we betting?
I'm not a betting man.
We're not betting. I think it's going to be worse than 2020, just because it hasn't simmered yet.
I'll bet that brand new boat you got coming.
Nope. Nope.
My number 10 is a game from a company that I used to work for, and it's a game that was universally pooed upon when it first came out, and I say naysayers, all of you, because I really did enjoy this game. It's called Reichbusters Project Vril. Did the rulebook have some issues and worries? Yes, it absolutely did. Did it maybe have too many keywords? Yeah, it
Did
probably
my copy
did.
come with more French pieces than English pieces?
Did we have some product issues? Yes, we absolutely did. But I tell you, this is a fun game.
Cool
It's a
art. I
fun
love
game.
the theme.
Yeah, and it's got a
I love
great
the
theme as well. It's just that kind of, Dirty Dozen, World War II-ish.
It's not Duke Nukem. It's the other one. What is it called? The other video game that's in this.
Hellboy?
No.
That's kind of the universe that it's
Wolfenstein.
in.
Not Wolfenstein.
Wolfenstein. Yeah,
It's got
Wolfenstein.
that Wolfenstein
Definitely
theme.
has that Wolfenstein. Now they came out with a Wolfenstein miniatures board game. I've never played that one though. That would be a cool comparison video, actually. So
I'll bet you the miniatures aren't as cool as in this one.
I doubt it.
These
I
miniatures are
seriously
nice.
doubt it. These miniatures were super freaking good. That was just, component qualities was off the chart with this one, but gameplay was also fun. I liked a lot of the mechanisms that they employed that made it slightly different than some of the other dungeon crawlers that are out there. Being able to play cards down into your player tableau and all of that kind of stuff. It made the card play is what made it feel different from me. Rolling a crap ton of dice, doing a crap ton of damage. As you're going through, you're just knocking out people left and right until that big boss shows up. But I loved all the mechanisms that were employed here. I just think it really got a bad shake on the front end of it. But all of the other stuff that happened with it, all of the production issues and the rule book problems, all of that adds to it. I'm not diminishing that at all, but I think this just didn't get a very good shake at the beginning. Had all of those issues been taken care of, I think a lot more people would have liked this game.
Oh, yeah.
A lot more people. But it's definitely one of my top 10 from this year. Reichbusters Project Brill.
Nice. My top 10 is a much smaller game, or my number 10 is a much smaller game. And now saying that that this year was a weaker year, these 10 are all really, really good. So it didn't have, it had great games in the year.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I
like
really enjoy all of these games.
To put good games in here.
No.
I just had to.
There's even some really good games that aren't on my list.
Agreed. So my number 10 is a game called New York Zoo from Uwe Rosenberg.
I knew
this is a nice game. This is a very family weight Rosenberg game, which is a nice,
Yeah.
But you got all these polyomino shaped tiles, and you're really racing to fill your zoo out first. But it has this cool mechanism where you're going around a rondel, and you're either taking a new tile, a new enclosure for creatures to sit into, which you have to have creatures available to fit into. Or you're taking more creatures. And then there's also spots around the board where your creatures, if you have 2 in a pen, they will breed and have a third. So you do that in Rosenberg games.
Is that how that works,
yes.
Papa?
Yeah, it takes 2. But anyways, then you can have, it takes 2, baby.
I know, man, don't go there, come on.
But anyways, so you're balancing your animals going in, your new enclosures coming in, and then when you complete a enclosure, all of those animals leave, except for you get to keep one, and then you get another special tile like a roller coaster or a hot dog stand or something like that. But you're really just trying to fill in this grid the fastest, and it's a really cool little race game.
Yeah, it is.
You can play this with 5-year-olds, you can play this with adults, and everybody has a blast.
This definitely, I thought about it. I didn't ultimately write it down on my short list because I've only played it once. But I did enjoy it. I think New York Zoo is a great game, and I've only played it once, so I didn't even put it down because I don't feel like I have had enough experience to make that determination. Sure. But I did enjoy it. It was a good game. All right, my number 9. I felt kind of weird putting this on the list because I've already put its predecessor on another list. Doing these year lists is a microcosmic year, right? It's a microcosmic look. So, with that in mind, Small World of Warcraft works. It's my number 9. I've already put Small World on a previous year's list, and I'm not trying to double up or make it, cut ends or anything like that. I think within this year, Small World of Warcraft still stands up to be a very good game. I think they took the IP. I used to play Warcraft until my eyes bled when I was younger.
My eyes never bled.
They never bled?
No, they never bled.
Neither did I. It was a figure of speech, but I did play it a lot. We had, my friends and I would respond to each other in real life.
We only had 4 video games back then. So
yeah, which one would kill? Which one would locked and loaded? My avatar on Google is still the dwarf rifleman. Way back when. Always loved that game. So this was a good little bridge, I guess you could say, from videos to board games.
Yep.
I really think it was a great... Small World in of itself is a great, fun little game. But what they were able to do with the different factions and the different races from World of Warcraft really was a pretty cool crossover. And that's why it's my number 9.
Nice. That's a good number 9. I haven't actually played... World of Warcraft's a good number... Not Warcraft. Small World's a good number 9. I haven't actually played this version.
Got it.
I know.
You can borrow it.
I haven't actually played this version. No, you want to know what's on my table right now? Reavers is on my table.
Serious?
Yeah. We're going to play it when we get home. It's like a fish. Anyways. So there. I'll be making it quiet. My number 9 is what I call the travel version of one of my favorite games. And it's not really the travel version, but it's the Raiders of Scythia. The Raiders of Scythia, I really love the Raiders of the North Sea. This is a blended version of the Raiders of the North Sea. And I say travel version, but it comes with a pretty good-sized board. Yeah. But it kind of blends a lot of the mechanisms from Raiders of the North Sea and the 2 expansions together. It doesn't one-for-one match them.
Okay.
But it does still have that same put down a worker, take a worker. You're still you have a lot of the same action locations. You have you're buying a crew member to place them down or whatever else. But you also have now eagles and horses that you can put under the crew members. On the top and bottom, a crew member can have a horse and an eagle, and they might add strength, they might add a special ability, they might add a few different things.
Really cool.
And there is also, every time you go to a place, depending on if there's gold dice there, and there's also different dice depending on, it has the same kind of thing. You know, in the Raiders, we're going up and we're raiding, you know, outposts and monasteries and stuff like that. In this one, you're raiding different countries, and it kind of goes down, with the bottom one being the hardest.
Oh, okay.
But you take damage, and your guys can die, and you have to manage their wounds and heal them up. And it's a really cool game. It's a really nice blend. But it's not as big and, I don't want to say heavy as Raiders with all of the expansions on it, but it's just a little bit more contained than that.
They took a little bit of one expansion, a little bit of another, and put it in.
Yeah, and I like the artwork on this one. I think the biggest dig on this one at the beginning was nobody really liked the artwork. Once you kind of play with it and get to know it and stuff like that, I think the artwork looks pretty good, yeah.
I never played this one. So I knew it was going to be on your list because you've talked about it so highly in the past, but I've just never played it, so I couldn't include it.
And it's got a great solo mode,
really,
which Raiders does not. Yeah.
Okay. My number 8 is a little escape room in a box. And it's part of a larger series of games, but this one is the particular one that reached out to me the most. It's part of the Unlock series, and that is Star Wars.
Oh,
Unlock.
yeah, of course.
I gotta put a Star Wars game on every
he
list.
Has to
apparently,
put a Star Wars and that one artist guide's on every list.
He knows.
I
he
know.
knows
I
the
know.
name.
Don't
He
worry.
knows the name. He's just not saying it on purpose.
It's Captain Kirk. Anyway.
It's a neat take on that whole escape room in a box thing, because you're actually, it's not necessarily a escape room. You're going on a mission within the Star Wars universe. This one uses app integration, and I thought they did a very good job of integrating the app with different sounds that the app can make, different music that it plays while you're playing the game, all of these different things. It really works well with it. I still have the app on my phone right there, Star Wars Unlocked.
Yeah, very nice.
So it's just a really neat...
I remember the app now. Yeah. I don't think the other ones have the app, but now I can't remember.
Well, if it doesn't, that's just another reason why it made my list over the other ones.
Yeah, that's
because
a fun unlock.
I love the Star Wars universe. You know, big shocker there. But this one, each of the different missions is all... they're all very different. There's not a whole lot of similarities between each one. And they all go from, there's a tutorial. There's technically, I guess you could say there's 4. There's a tutorial, then there's actual three actual missions in it. So it's a really great game, and I really enjoy it. If you're a Star Wars fan and you've never tried the Unlock series, you should definitely go check this one out. I think you'll really enjoy it. That's my number 8, Star Wars Unlock.
Agreed. Yep, agreed. That one's a fun one. See, so not all Star Wars games are bad.
See? Told you.
All right. My number 8, for some people, is probably too low on my list. But it's too low on my list because I didn't play it enough, even though I should have played it way more. But it's Pandemic Legacy Season 0.
We haven't even finished.
We started it. I think we got through 4 scenarios. And then we moved.
And then
life happened, and then we never got back to it.
Right.
Wouldn't know where to start or begin anymore with it. I actually bought another copy, a new copy, so that Mel and I could play it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, I didn't know if we're ever going to get back to it.
We got to finish it.
We have so many things. We got
to take
so
a Saturday and just finish it. See?
I got bad news for you.
You got rid of it?
I did.
Oh! No!
I don't keep.
You cut me deep, Shrek.
I'm sorry. I figured something else will fit the spot.
Go ahead.
But anyway, Pandemic Legacy Season 0. My number 8 on this list. Obviously, Pandemic we love.
Yeah.
Season 0 definitely has it's a pre-pandemic theme. So the first one, pre-season 1, obviously that makes it Season 0. And you're doing things before the pandemic. That's all I can say about it. But it's pretty cool. It's got some cool mechanics. I just didn't get to play it enough.
Yep, we did not get to play it enough. I will say this. You didn't really cut me that deep. I was just saying that for dramatic effect.
I know.
This was my least favorite out of the legacy ones.
At least at that point, I would agree.
Maybe something else changes that really kind of is like a wow factor in later months. But those first 4 months were just like, man, this is a slog.
They were fine, but they weren't. Yeah. They weren't crazy. Like when you started season 2, it was crazy.
Yes. Yep.
You went from season 1, it started out pandemic, it did its thing. Season 2 started out crazy.
Yep.
Season 0 started out fairly mild.
Yep.
It did. Doesn't mean it's a bad game.
No. Doesn't mean it's a bad game at all. My number 7 is from Prospero Hall and Funko Games, and this one's called Back to the Future, Back in Time. They use the word back twice.
Yeah.
I always just call this Back to the Future.
Does two backs make a forward?
Technically, yes.
Okay.
Because if you are going one direction and you turn around and you go back, then you are going the other. If you do another direction, you're going forward again.
So they should have just called it Forward in Time.
Forward in Time. What this does, it is a very... they, of course, use the IP, but they're not using screenshots. It's very kind of cartoony artwork that look very similar to a lot of the characters of the movie and a lot of the situations of the movie and all that kind of stuff. But it's good artwork. It's very family friendly. Basically, what you're trying to do is you are in. I just forgot the name of the town.
I don't know.
That Back to the Future happened in.
I don't know.
Anyway, you're back in that town, and you are trying to, first of all, assemble the DeLorean, and then, or put all the pieces together that Doc Brown had to do back in the 50s.
Yep.
And then you're trying to get Lorraine and George to be smoochy again.
Yep.
And you're trying to do all of that while Biff is going around trying to split you two up.
Biff is awesome.
The entire time. So you can be Doc Brown, you can be Einstein, the dog, or you can be Jennifer, or you can be Marty McFly. Those are the 4 characters that you can play. This is a really fun game. I think you were the first one that we played this game with. I think I owned it.
I played this with my sisters. My sisters and them brought it down, and I'm like, "Hey, you got to check out this cool game." And he's like, "It's right here."
Yeah. And then he taught us how to play,
Yeah.
and then we've played it with several other times after that. But this is a really fun game, and it falls right in line with what I've said about Prospero Hall and Funko Games in the past. If you like family weight IP games, that is exactly where you need to go look. So. That's my number 7.
This is a really good family weight game and very thematic. It really fits in that same kind of mindset as like Horrified.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's just like Horrified. No, it doesn't play like Horrified, but it gives you those same vibes. But it's super fun.
It's cooperative, just like Horrified is. So there's a lot of similarities. The same kind of game as Horrified is.
Right.
I'll put it that way.
Yep.
So that's my number 7. Back to the Future, Back in Time.
That's a good game. I knew it was going to be on there.
Yes.
My number 7 is a game from Chex Games Editions, where the space invaders are coming, and it's called Under Falling Skies. This is one of the coolest single player games that I have ever played. Like, I don't know if you've played this one. This one is so freaking cool. I taught it to Anna when she was here last, but it's really cool. You have this mothership that's coming down just like Space Invaders, and you have like 5 different rows, and every row has a ship coming down. And if they land on these little bomb spots and you do the attack at the right time, you can blow them up and push them back to the mothership, but you're trying to not let them hit you. They're coming down. You're trying to dig your base deeper because it has better actions at the bottom. It's a worker placement game, a dice placement game. At the beginning of the round, you roll your 5 dice. You have to have 1 dice in each column, but the number that you have on the dice is also how far down that critter comes, or that ship comes.
Ooh.
So I got a 6. This is going to be a great action. It's also going to move this ship down 6 spaces. So you really have to. It's really cool. There's spots that make the mothership come faster. There's all kinds of crazy things. And what you're really trying to do is get enough research points up the side to research how to beat the aliens before they destroy you. It's really fun. Really, really fun.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, it always the name always reminded me of a TV show that I used to watch called Falling Skies, and
Yeah.
it was a really good, and it was also alien invasion TV show against a resistance of humans and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So
This may be the first actual solo single-player game I ever bought that's just solo.
really,
Yeah.
that's cool. That's
It's
cool.
really cool. I'll have it forever. It's really fun.
All right, super duper.
All right, last one on this list.
My number 6, my last one on this list, is a little game about from Portugal about brewing coffee.
Oh.
It's all about the coffee industry. Rather than just brewing coffee, it's all about from getting those beans in the field to delivering them to the cafe. That's what it's called, cafe. And it is a card placement game where how you place your cards out determines a number of different things. It determines what kinds of coffee bean fields you have. It determines how efficiently you are at processing or drying out those coffee beans, how efficient you are at roasting them, how, where you can deliver them and what kind of coffee all of these different cafes are looking for. And it also determines how many actions you're going to have on your turn. And it's a really fun kind of a spatial awareness kind of game, because you really have to be careful with where you're placing out these new cards. And of course, you're drafting from a market of cards in the middle every turn. And so you have to be careful with where you're placing the card, because you could cover up an action, which could be crucial in the future. You could break up a group of bean fields, which will mean that you have to take extra actions to produce crop on both of those fields instead of producing all of them at once.
Yep.
There's a lot of different things that you have to think about, but it's a really fun game, and it's gone largely overlooked.
Yeah, it's a nice
here in North
puzzle.
America, but it's a very cool puzzle, and that's my number 6.
Yeah. Each of those cards
Cafe.
is broken up into 6 different locations. So.
Well, it's not always 6 different locations.
Well, it could be blanks, but they have 6
yes.
squares.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I
So-
mean, sometimes those cafes cover up 2 of those.
Oh, that's
what
true.
would be 2 of those
Yeah,
squares?
that's true. But every time you place something down, you got to cover up 2 of what you already have.
Yep.
So it's quite a balancing act.
Yes.
It's really cool.
Very fun. Very fun. Liked it a lot. It's from Pythagoras Games Cafe, my number 6.
All right. My number 6, the last one on this list, is a game from Simon called Marvel United.
Oh, yeah.
In Marvel United, you get to take on little superheroes. They got the little chibi miniatures. You
Sorry.
have these.
That was-
I like them. I don't mind them at all. I think they're pretty cool.
I don't like chibis.
I think they grew on me at this game.
Yeah, they did grow on you like a fungus.
If I come back and they're like chibis glued to me, you'll know. But other than that, you get 6 locations around the board. Of course, there's all different kinds of bosses you can fight. I actually like the X-Men version better than the original Marvel United version, because the X-Men version, each of the characters' decks has an extra card that's unique to them. In the Marvel United version, the first version, I think you had 2 unique cards to you, and then the rest were kind of the same as everybody else gets.
Oh,
They weren't
really?
perfectly the same, but you had. But in the X-Men one, and I'm assuming in the Multiverse one and stuff like that, you have more uniqueness to each one.
That's cool. That's always a good thing.
But really what makes everything shine here is the bad guys and how they work and how the different locations work and how you have to solve the puzzle on beating them
Yeah.
before they bam you to death. So
I should say I've never played this game, so
you'd like it. I'll bet you like it.
I would imagine I would like it. I just really dislike chibi miniatures. I really dislike them, and that's pretty much what's turned me off from this game.
That's fair. Not fair, but it's okay.
It's valid.
It's valid.
It's not fair, but it's valid.
Yep.
All right. Well, that is that. Our 10 through 6, our bottom 5 from the year 2020. The good thing is you can go over to the Flipside right now, and you can see our top 5 games from 2020. So, thank you for joining us here on the Dice Tower. We do appreciate that. But come on over to the Flipside. You might just like it.
And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on this one too. For
Yeah.
the Dice Tower and for the Flipside.
Yeah, they need your support, people.
That's
They're
right.
struggling.
They do.
They need it. So give them some love here, and then come over to the flip side, give us some love over there, too. We're out of here. See you on the flip side, folks.
Take care.
Bye-bye.